Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. We're here today to do predictions for the quarter-final of the Champions League. It is the second leg. Most of these ties are still in the balance, bar a couple. But we're going to dive straight into this with one of those games that's probably not in the balance. It is Chelsea versus Porto. So you kind of had a feeling after Chelsea got pretty much embarrassed by West Brom that they would revert to type and Thomas Tuchel would make them even more machine-like than they normally are. It's almost like he built a 10-man wall up in Porto to stop them from scoring. It's not as if Porto didn't have their chances. Obviously, they're a very good side, and you're never going to play any Champions League side and completely stop them from creating anything. But really, Chelsea controlled this game. It wasn't much of a spectacle. It was a pretty dire game, really, but it was Chelsea who really felt like they were in control. It was just a matter of whether they could get the goals, and they did. The first goal through Mason Mount, a beautiful turn after a fine ball played into him. It was a great turn by Mount. He got away and he smashed it in from just inside the box, and it was 1-0 for a long time. It just felt like that was the way the game was going to drift, but Chelsea did get that second goal. Probably the most unlikely source is Ben Chilwell. He sort of nicked the ball from their fullback and ran in behind. Very calm and composed finish for him, for Mount and for Chilwell, their first Champions League goals ever. So great for them. Great to see two English players on the scorecard as well. But Tuchel continues to struggle with who he plays up front. He played Werner and he played Havertz, and it really didn't work. And I'll be amazed if he plays those two up front together again this season, really. They look like a couple of strangers, which baffles me how those two have not clicked so far in English football. Werner's played okay, but Havertz looks really lost. That is a big worry for Chelsea about him, but they've got plenty of other players that can come in and do a decent job, so it's just a matter of him trying to find the balance. But I wouldn't worry at all for Chelsea in this one. They'll back themselves to get at least one more goal in this tie, but I'm going for the same scoreline again. Probably not a shock for any of you, but I'm going to go for Chelsea 2, Porto 0. Borussia Dortmund versus Manchester City. This game was a lot more like it. This game was exciting. It was end-to-end. Both sides gave it a really good go. I was really impressed with the way Dortmund played. They weren't overawed. They weren't kind of put off or frightened by City. I suppose I don't really know why they were. It's just the fact they were having a really shocking Bundesliga season, but they've been good in the Champions League, and they were good again today. They were undone by a fine City goal. The first goal was a wonderful move. It was Emre Can who gave away the ball in midfield, and De Bruyne just cut through them. It went out to Foden. He played it across to Mahrez, back to he looked like a chance had gone maybe, but Mahrez did really well. He played it back to De Bruyne and it made it 1-0. But both sides played their part in this game, and as much as City missed a host of chances, you have to say Dortmund missed their fair share of chances as well. And City had a huge slice of luck in the first half. How the referee has given a foul against Jude Bellingham for that when he's just dispossessed Ederson and there to tap it in an empty net. Bellingham is so unlucky that the referee has blown his whistle before he stuck the ball in the back of the net. Otherwise it would have gone to VAR and they would have given the goal. It's ridiculous that he got a yellow card for that as well that isn't overturned. Well, I don't know whether they do overturn it, but just a baffling decision, which was the second in the game for that referee at that point after giving a penalty, which was a poor decision as well, which was overturned rightfully. But that one was a real shocker, and Dortmund can feel certainly hard done by in that one. But Haaland, again, impressed. He looks a constant threat. He did miss a couple of chances in this one, but every time he gets a chance, he looks really dangerous. Every time he gets one-on-one with a defender, he's got too much pace, he's got too much power. They were lucky that Ederson made a good save in the second half to keep it at 1-0. And then it became about Phil Foden fluffing his lines over and over again and seemed to miss some easy chances to put the Man City in a comfortable position before Dortmund did hit them with a sucker punch. A really good ball and a really good move. Shows you that when Dortmund turn it on, the pace they play with, they are one of the best attacking teams in the world. So it's no surprise to see them cut City apart at times. And it was Haaland who played the ball into Marco Reus. Does what he does, doesn't he, really? Quality player for a number of years. Fine finish past Ederson. You thought at that point, City's all their good work they'd done in the game was going to be undone. It was going to be a Dortmund in the ascendancy going back to Germany for the second leg. But 90th minute, Foden put those chances behind him, and he did tuck away a winner for Man City to make it 2-1. A lovely ball played in, and Mahrez did well to just play it back. It was actually De Bruyne again, surprise, surprise, with the assist. Played it into Mahrez, who played it back to Foden, who did a nice finish, tucked it into the bottom corner. Would have been an easy one for him to just thrash at that and put it over the bar, but he was very calm and composed. What a wonderful player he looks. I mean, when you see Mason Mount and you see him playing for City, the way they control the pitch and glide past people, it's the likes I haven't seen England players do maybe ever in my lifetime. Maybe only Gascoigne, or I can think of, who used to do that sort of thing. So it's very encouraging from that point of view. It should be a cracker in this second leg as well. The only thing I'd say is I just don't think Dortmund can stop City scoring, and that's what it's come down to. I think this is going to be high scoring, this game, and I think it might be a draw, and I don't think it's going to be easy that City just come through in the end. I'm going to go for Dortmund 2, Man City 2, which means Man City go through. Alright guys, we're at the halfway point in this one. Just going to take a quick break before we talk about the other two games to just mention about our Patreon. There's many ways to support the channel, and the easiest way to do it is to hit that like button. That helps us out more than anything else on YouTube. And if you like the content on the channel, hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notify bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. But if you do want to go that little bit further and help us out, there is that Patreon option available for you. The details are on the screen. It's down in the description below as well. You can become the 7th member of our Patreon, and it starts with as little as £3 a month, which really would help support this channel and help us grow. And I know myself and Thomas would greatly appreciate any support you could give us. But if you don't want to back us financially, just hitting that like button or watching any minute of any video is greatly appreciated. And we're going to jump in to the third game, which is Liverpool versus Real Madrid. This game surprised me because it surprised me how poor Liverpool were. I thought they'd got back to somewhat near, not their best, but a good level for them in recent weeks. They'd looked pretty good going forward, and they sorted out things at the back as well. But they came up against Real Madrid and they were completely undone. They looked very much lost, as if they were overawed by the occasion, which is very, very surprising indeed. And the one thing they say about Madrid is stop Modric and stop Kroos, and you've got a chance. But they didn't manage to do that. First ball is a first ball. Look, I'm going to talk about all Real Madrid's goals, and they're all going to sound really good, but from a Liverpool point of view, they were all avoidable. The first goal was a fine ball played over the top by Kroos, with Vinicius chested it down, ran through and tucked it past Alisson. But should that ball really be going through to him? Should the centre-backs not be doing better? Or do you just say that's a wonderful bit of attacking play and move on? I personally think Liverpool could have done a bit better in that one. Certainly could have done a bit better with the second one. Terrible bit of play by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Not done his England future any good at all. If Gareth Southgate would have been watching that, he would have had a little smug smile on his face, no doubt. But Trent was great against Arsenal. He's had a bit of a stinker in this one. He's played the ball into Asensio, who's just managed to tuck away an easy finish, really. So as I say, another one that was avoidable. Liverpool 2-0 down with a mountain to climb. But they did come back in the second half and look a lot more like their usual self, and actually got back into the game with a really good goal. Not surprisingly, Jota was involved in it, who's been Liverpool's real bright spark this season, and it was his deflected shot that went through to Salah, and Salah just managed to smuggle it under Courtois and into the back of the net. And at that point, it looked like Liverpool were right back in it. It looked like this game was firmly in the balance, but all they had to do was just keep it tight and get them back to Anfield. But they couldn't do that. They couldn't stop Real Madrid scoring that third goal. It was Vinicius again with the third goal, and it's one really that Alisson should be saving. It's his turn to have a horror show. It's a poor bit of goalkeeping by him. He should have kept the ball out. Liverpool only had themselves to blame, really, from a defensive point of view, to find themselves in this poor position. Real Madrid, they're looking at all the 12, 13, 15, 10 times. I don't know how many times they've won it. God knows the multiple time champions that they are. And that's a great result for them. And they'll be fully confident going to Anfield. And Anfield without any crowd, remember, where Liverpool have struggled at times this season, certainly in recent times as well. So that one's going to be tough, and it's going to be a tall order for Liverpool to get through. And I don't think they will, but I think they'll win the game. I think it'll end up Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 1. But Real Madrid will go through. And that leaves us with our final match, and without a doubt the most anticipated one of the bunch. It is Paris Saint-Germain versus Bayern Munich. Wow, what a game. What a game. What a game these two played out in the first leg. This was incredible stuff. Played in that backdrop of a snowstorm as well, which just added to the match. Snow in April, what is that all about? But we'll get to that another time. It's not a weather channel, Ian. It's not a weather channel. But this was a wonderful game of football, as you can imagine. Both sides just went for it, toe to toe. And PSG were the ones who came out on top, and PSG were the ones who came out of the blocks firing. Well, to be fair, so did Bayern Munich. And it was only with PSG's first shot on goal that they got into the lead. Mbappe, isn't it? Mbappe's the man. Mbappe's everything. Anything Haaland can do, Mbappe can do better, and he proved why he is one of the hottest properties in world football in this match. They won the ball. They turned the ball over through midfield, and they broke really quickly on Bayern Munich. And Neymar got the ball out to Mbappe. It is not Neuer's greatest moment in a Bayern shirt or a football shirt, but that way he really should have saved it. It wasn't a great shot, but it's gone in. And Mbappe's given PSG a dream start here. It nearly got even better for PSG a few moments later. There was an offside goal from Draxler, which was very marginal, but it was the right decision. But despite Bayern Munich knocking on the door constantly and Navas keeping them at bay time and time again, it was PSG who got the second goal in this game. Marquinhos, probably one of the most underrated players, making a habit now in recent years of coming and scoring important Champions League goals. He got the second one in this one. Again, taking advantage of some poor Bayern Munich defending, but it was wonderful to see PSG with all that attacking flair that we know they have coming out and really taking the game to Bayern. But you knew, even if this one got to 4-0 or whatever it was, you knew Bayern Munich are never out of this game. And it was probably down to the fact that they didn't have Lewandowski that cost them in the end. They created so many chances, and as again, Navas has kept them really in PSG in front in this game. He had a wonderful game in goal for PSG, but they did get back into the game in the first half. It was Choupo-Moting with the goal. Really couldn't miss. He was put on a plate for him, great ball in, and all he had to do was just an easy header, nothing Navas could do about that one. And as you know, Bayern are just going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming. And you could see in that second half, they were pressing almost 11 players, high line, pressing, trying to win the ball back. And you just felt that would play into PSG's hands at times with the pace they've got with Mbappe breaking in behind. They nearly got stung once. It was a good save by Neuer, but it would have been offside anyway. But then Mbappe did get the third goal for PSG. A fine break again where he cuts inside and just smacks it into the corner. There's sometimes you just got to say there's nothing you can do against these elite strikers. And sometimes when he's at his best, there's nothing you can do to stop him. This is a quality Bayern Munich side, one of the best in the world, and Mbappe has made them look like amateurs at times. One of the best performances you'll ever see in the Champions League, I would say, from Mbappe on this occasion. But to think it's tie over is absolute madness. Not at all. Not with Bayern Munich involved. They did get it back to 3-2. It was Müller. Of course it was Müller. If you haven't got Lewandowski around, Müller's going to score a goal for you. This guy will drag Bayern Munich up through with his bootstraps if he has to. But he gets a goal from a free kick, the snarling beast that he is. And it's in the balance. It's in the balance. It's PSG in the ascendancy, of course it is, with those 3 away goals, but do not rule Bayern Munich out. This side can come back from any deficit, and they're so dangerous. They create 30-odd chances in that game. I cannot wait for this one. This one's going to be a cracker. But I'm going to say this is where the Champions League throws up surprises, and I'm going to say it is PSG who get the job done here. Well, I remember when we looked at this draw, and people thought it was going to be a Man City and Bayern Munich semi-final, but who knows, the Champions League might throw up that surprise and it might be a PSG Dortmund semi-final instead. But I am thinking that PSG get over the line here. I'm going to go for another amazing game. I'm going to go for a 3-3 draw, which puts PSG through. And that will just about do it for these predictions. We hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, please hit that like button. As I said earlier, that helps us out so much on YouTube. And if you like the content, please hit the subscribe button as well and hit the notify bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Please give your comments down below. I want to know whether you thought I was right, whether you thought I was wrong. And I want to know what your predictions are. And I want to know who you want to see in the semi-final, who you want to see in the final, who you want to see winning it. So flood the comments with loads of your thoughts. thoughts, and we'll be back very soon with more content. You know that we will. And have a great evening, and I'll see you soon.